Welcome to Beyond the Beef, where we not only talk about everyday problems, we talk about everyday solutions. James.
We sure do. What's up, buddy?
How are you?
What's up, buddy? Good, man. How are you?
We're sounding better and better.
It's good to see you.
You too, always. That's why I really look forward to these for just that.
That's why we get an opportunity to catch up. You know?
I think so too. So it's been a decent week for me. How about you?
Good, man. How was your fourth? We got through the fourth.
We went through that. Oh no, we didn't.
Yeah.
Oh no, we didn't.
No,
we talked about the fireworks
before the fourth when we talked last time.
Yeah, right.
I know you were going
true.
up and taking a little trip at the fam and doing some stuff. What you got going?
I was going to see my brother, and it was a great trip. It was a really great trip. I mean, we didn't do much, but it was like we just hung out and grilled a little bit and sat on his deck. And
I forgot he was up there.
Yeah, he lives in a great place, and so just caught up a little bit, which is always nice. It's funny because my brother and I we're very close. We get along really well, but and he only lives an hour and a half away, but I don't see him as much as I would like, right? Just life gets in the way. So it was good. We had a nice time, really nice time.
Good.
So how about you?
Good. It was good, man. I went to a friend's house that I go to every fourth. So that was the standard. That's like one of those things. We go there. They live on a lake. We do some fireworks. We blow some things up, and then the people next to us, people next to us spend like a fortune on their fireworks, right? So they're like weird, like pew pew. They're like, they're like giant fireworks, like spending tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars just to blow things up in the air. But we enjoy it. So we enjoy that little show. We're like the sidekick, we're like the filler, like we just do the little stuff. But that was fun. And then the wife and I took a spontaneous trip up to Saratoga Springs to see Dave Matthews. So we do that once in a while. And,
you like that.
We weren't going to go.
This is you guys having fun again, right?
Things just worked out. Spontaneous fun, man. Got out there and it was a blast. Oh, it was a blast.
You love them.
It was a blast.
It's so, this is the kind of fun stuff that you guys do.
I love it, man. I love it.
It's not just that you went to Dave Matthews or whatever. Like, I mean, we went to a show, but it's that you just did it because just happened, right? It's like
this fun. Yeah, it's crazy, right? So funny little story, right? So it's Friday.
Yeah.
And I think I just dropped my son off somewhere, right? And I'm coming home and I hear a little DMB on the radio, and I'm like, oh,
DMB is
Dave Matthews Band, yeah. So I hear a little bit on the radio, on Sirius Radio. They have their own station and all sorts of stuff, right? Yeah. So I'm dancing and doing my thing, windows down in the car, feeling good. You know how it is. I don't
actually. I'm 54 years old. I don't dance in the car anymore.
Yeah, I'm 48, but I still do, man. I gotta keep everything going. You know what I mean? It's like it's my only exercise.
You're actually really dancing, like you're doing one of those.
No, I just do a little. I do just a little dance. Just a little sing and a little nod. A little bit.
I wouldn't do that, by the way, but I would like for metal. I love metal music, right? And I used to headbang in the
you bite your underlip
right, when I had hair and stuff. Anyway, I think I could relate, but just whatever. I'm not as much fun. We already know this, but go ahead, keep going.
You are. You just suppress it, but it was cutting through me, right? And in a summer day, you're like, all right, this is beautiful. I love this, and we like to go to Saratoga. It wasn't going to work out this year, so I come home. And I walk in the door, and my wife's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "We got to go to Dave. Like, we just got to go. Like, I know it's tight and stuff. We got to go." Well, one thing led to another. Is then I looked and I realized, and I found out that I had already booked a room in Saratoga for that weekend a year in advance because he plays the same weekend.
Oh, just thinking that you would do it.
Yeah, just thinking I would do it. And not only that, but they charged you at the time. It was like a prepaid thing. So I had also paid for it a year ago.
And you forgot.
So I had the room. I had it paid for. Wow. I forgot that I even had it, right? I was like, oh, look at this. We got this, right? And then my wife knew someone who then wound up actually getting tickets for just about nothing to get there too. So it just played perfectly, right? It was just like, these things don't happen to me. It worked out great.
Actually, these things always happen to you.
Not the good ones. Not the good ones. Not the good ones.
This doesn't happen to me.
Well, you don't put yourself out there enough, Bob. You don't put yourself out there enough.
Because, if I made a hotel booked at a year in advance, I would have like 12 calendar reminders. I would have the receipts on my refrigerator.
You would never forget that you booked a hotel. Of course not.
It's incredible how your life goes.
But it worked out. It worked out. And you get there and like, it's the best place to see a show because you're out on the grass, you're in the lawn, you're doing all sorts of stuff. I like to grill. I bring extra food. I give it out to people, right? We bring the cornhole boards and we really just absolutely have a blast. Like, people were coming up, giving us stuff and everything was awesome, right? And to the point where like my wife and I were in the show and you see all these people just kind of having a great time. Feels like they're all loving each other, right?
Yeah.
And we left and she's like, how many shows does Dave have? Like he has all these shows and everybody's like in good spirits and feeling like they're all friends and whatever. Like there's that many people out there that are just good, like hearted, good people, and it really left us feeling like really good. Right. And then we went on Facebook.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I want to
talk. Interesting.
I wonder if you're going to talk about what I think you're going to talk about.
I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt it. Well, because you're you and I'm me, but it could be. It could be, right?
Let's see.
But this is what happened. This is what happened on Facebook.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. Open it up, and he had this poster, right? So every concert, there's a poster that gets created, right? He doesn't draw them, right? He gets a professional artist, and they create something. It's usually based on like his music and where they are, right? So it's a poster of a horse. Right? You're at Saratoga Springs. It's of a horse. It's got the taped legs and it's got sort of this, I'll call it almost like it looked like it could have been like somebody that was like regal sitting off the side, right? Big hat on and it had these eyeballs all over the place, right? But it was a really cool picture. You look at it, it had some cool details in it. It reminded me almost of like a Dolly picture, Salvador Dali, right? Type thing. Because it was kind of unique. If you looked at it, you saw new stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, wouldn't you know? I was like, that thing's cool, right? I could never get it because my wife hates eyeballs, but that's just a cool. It's weird. She's got a weird thing about eyeballs.
I'm sure we have to get into that at some point.
Yeah, some point. So I'm like, oh, this is a great. She hates it. Like if there's, like she wears contacts. I'm like, how could you hate eyeballs if I talk about eyeballs, but you're just sticking these plastic lenses in your eyes every day, right?
Anyway, all right.
Anywho, I read the comments of this thing.
Yeah.
And the first one I read is, I love Dave, but this picture is very disappointing. Anybody who could, promote horse racing and the damage that it does to horses, how could he do this? And And I'm reading through this, and then I get the people who have horses. I tape legs doesn't mean they're a racehorse, and this and this and this. Let's face it, the picture was made because it's Saratoga Springs. If you don't know that it's Saratoga, right?
Sure, just symbolic of the location.
Is the industry that basically supports the entire town, right?
Yes, of course.
Then I realized that the previous conversation of saying everybody loves each other, the world's gets just crushed by people going, you posted something about a racehorse?
People are really angry. Well,
you're the devil.
I have to tell you. Well, so it comes down to
it's just something that was just bugging me.
It does segue into something I wanted to talk about too. But I don't know if I should even go here because I don't know enough about it. But I thought you were going to go to the point where Dave Matthews, I saw somebody post something about controversy, right? Because with Dave Matthews, because he's been talking about some anti-war things and pro-Palestine things and things like that, right?
He said that at these concerts. At this concert, he did talk about
and again, I don't know much about what he says or what he doesn't say or anything, but my sense is that he's anti-war, right? Like he doesn't want 100%. People dying. But I won't go there because it's too sensitive for too many people. And that's not what I want to do on this show. I think you don't either. But I will say that one person that posted that he's this horrendous person for X, Y, and Z. And I think it kind of comes down to the same thing. It's like,
very much.
I think people really walk around looking for places to put their anger, right? And it's like,
it's so true.
And what they do is when they find any outlet, they over exaggerate it. And like we talked about on previous shows, like nobody is going to disagree with them, even though by definition, half the people probably do, but no one's ever going to do that because then they know they're going to get attacked, right? So when you get one of these angry people, it's like, stop. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Dave Matthews' message is not like, against one type of person or another type of person, whatever else. Pretty sure his message is like, come on, folks, can we just all get along? Let's stop killing people. Yeah.
It was all about loving each other.
I think that's what it is, because I have kind of the same message, right? But then somehow there are people that think if you are not for killing a certain type of person, that you're a bad person. Like, it's weird. It's weird to me. I don't get it,
Totally.
I don't get it. It's like, if what makes that person bad is the fact that, I don't know. I just can't. It's too much for me to unwrap.
It's we're not going to get
no. I'm trying to avoid it because
the premise of what you're saying is right. Like, everyone's looking for something to argue about or to stand on or to be different or to define in a different way, to be angry and to cause some sort of something, right?
And they get mad. They get like really mad. Like, how could you do this? You are an evil person who deserves to die if you blah, blah, blah. And it's like, whoa. All I did was put a picture of a horse up there. Like,
exactly.
like I think
take it for what it is.
You have a deeper problem that has nothing to do with me or my picture or anything that I said, right?
Exactly.
You're mad at something else.
Right. And you better be, because if you're really that mad at this, then you got to think about seeing a doctor. Like you got something going on, because I get it. Right. But there's people that put this as their sort of stamp on society. I'm going to talk to everyone. And it's like, okay, like, if you're really that mad, you really don't like X, Y, or Z. You really dislike you feel it's abusive to do horse racing and things like that. Oh, okay. And I can appreciate your perspective on things. But to go on and to talk and to say this is a bad person, how could he stand for this? Yeah. How could he do this? How could he do that? There's something else going on. And there's a lot of that now.
And leave
there's
people
just
alone.
A lot of it.
Because if when you want to stand on these high moral grounds, do you know how you have to live your life, right? Like,
exactly
it kills
what I said
people.
to my wife.
People like we talked about the gas leaf blowers a couple of weeks ago. It's like, you've chosen that to put your anger into, but do you know how much you do that uses so much more energy and wastes so much more stuff and everything? It's like the whole plastic bag thing, right? We've gone through that. Oh, you can't use plastic, is the most evil thing on the face of the planet. Can't use plastic bags. Do you know how much plastic you're using every day and stuff that you absolutely don't need at all? Just the houses that people live in, the cars that they drive. That stuff's okay, right? Because somehow that doesn't bother you because that's convenient to you. But now you're going to, look at me and say, don't race a horse. Well, wait a minute. I don't get it. Like,
this is so funny that you said that, because exactly what I said to my wife was, this person better not eat any meat that they buy at a store. They better have their own farm, grow their own vegetables, because if they're eating any of that or doing anything, then they're supporting the abuse of chickens and horses and pigs and whatever animal that may be out there. If they're going to stand on horse racing being so bad for a horse as an animal, well, they better live this immaculate life for me to think they have any real trust, that I could trust or really feel that they have any real view and have the right to stand on that. Because
go to the woods somewhere, build a house out of twigs.
You're a hypocrite.
And like,
you're a hypocrite if you don't.
Stop using any of the conveniences that we have in modern day society, because all of them have something associated with it that's bad for us. There's another thing, like, same thing, we talk about these town posts, right? And people are always talking about their dogs and oh my God, somebody hit a dog and this and that. Of course I'm not in favor, but the dog, like, they hit a dog on the road and that person deserves to die, right? It's like, well, I'm sure they didn't mean it, whatever. But then why I go there is because those same people that are like, have the pitchforks out for someone who accidentally hit a pet. Those are the same people that are saying, my God, there's coyotes in the neighborhood. We need to kill them and exterminate them. Do you realize what a coyote is? Exactly.
Exactly.
Why coyote bad, dog good? Like, it's like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
It's crazy, right? It's absolutely nuts.
It doesn't make sense. Like, there's deer are all over our area. And people, like, somebody hit a deer the other night. Like, this person, people need to slow down. I can't believe they hit this beautiful baby deer and everything else. And literally, like, 2 posts down, there's a bear in the neighborhood too. We've got to do something about the bear. Capture the bear. Kill the bear. It's like, I don't get it.
Because you're afraid of a bear, but you're not afraid of a deer.
Pretty
so
much
it's whatever you feel, right?
That's pretty much
is what I should feel as well.
It's so
right?
weird, right?
It's the hypocrisy of so many thoughts and opinions that go on out there are
crazy,
absolutely crazy.
But they go
on
about this stuff, and it's like, just take it down a notch.
Take it down.
Like I don't want to be that person, because I would have to re-examine every single part of my life, right? I mean, I'm not living off the land. Exactly, right?
We're not, right? Exactly.
Just not. I mean, so I don't know. So how do I stand on a moral high ground about one thing, and then something else that's okay because it's convenient.
I just can't do it. I'm the same as you. Like I'm not, there's certain things I believe in, but they're much different than that, right? And I don't support the things that I don't believe in, but I don't just tiptoe in it and say, I'm going to support it this time.
Yeah.
But for this thing, I'm going to make an exception for myself because, I'm hungry or I like hamburgers. I'm not going to do that, and it's so much out there. And this is a classic example, again, on both sides, right? Of you're picking your battle, you're saying your battle, but then you turn around, you're closed doors, you're behind the social media, you're back here doing whatever it is you are, being your hypocrite, but you want to be externally this other person.
This other thing. Well, that brings up
that
all
you
this.
want to rest it on, right?
This is something I want to talk about. But yeah, like kind of examine yourself, right? Examine your anger as a thing. But okay, so speaking of that, we talk about Facebook, we talk about wanting to be this external thing. And this kind of segues into your 4th of July thing too, because I didn't see that all the stuff you just told me, but I did see, you grilling on 4th of July. Like I don't know, probably your wife posted it, right? Or whatever.
She posted it. Yeah, I don't really post. I just either.
And so my family and I, we've been going, through like some mental anguish here because, like every family, right? You have like things that happen, things are not perfect ever. And so when something happens, you have conflict with the kids, the family, or this or that or the other. You always kind of, I think you always assume in today's world that you're the only one going through it, because what you see on social media is that everybody's life is perfect, right? And
Fair.
And it just feels like we have taken this kind of phony facade to a point of a very unhealthy level, because all people are going to post on social media is all the great things that's happening to them in their life. And it really is just a way of bragging, right? That's all it is. But it also is a way of making other people feel really bad about themselves, because everyone thinks like I don't have that life, if I have a problem with my kids, but oh my God, look at my friend, their kids are doing great. Everyone's doing wonderful. They're out in Aruba, and they're this and that. And here I am, having whatever conflict I'm having. And it just makes you feel like really bad about yourself, right? So my theory, of course, is that what people post on social media is only the good stuff and not the bad stuff. And everyone goes through bad stuff, right?
Part, yep.
So to test that theory, I'm going to say that terrific, wonderful weekend that you had, right? Was it free of any conflict? No, right?
It wasn't free of any conflict. Of course there's conflict.
Of course there's conflict. You probably fought a little bit. You have probably this, that, of course, right?
Timing. Couldn't get out of the house on time.
Couldn't get there on time. Is that right?
For sure.
Someone had to scrape you out of the floor because you're drunk or what? No,
I didn't do that. I was actually very well behaved at this trip on purpose.
But my point is that, of course it wasn't perfect, but you didn't post any of that stuff. And why would you post any of that stuff? Because you're going to post only the highlights. So I think, I don't know, do you feel this way that other people's lives are perfect and yours is not, and there's always a spotlight on that? Is this just me being me again?
No, that's you know what I compare it to? It's like you see a picture of a family, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, look how beautiful family. What a great picture, right? And there was a show many years ago that actually showed this perfectly, right? Around the struggles sometimes to get your family to take a picture. Like if you saw what went on behind the actual taking of the picture, how hard it was to get my kids to line up, how many it took to get them to smile, how I was screaming and yelling so they'd get in the darn picture. and you see the picture, and it looks like everything's perfect in the family. Oh, look at the beautiful family. Look at they're perfect. Why can't we be like them? I'm like, if you had any idea what it took to get to that, right? Everything's great. The hair's great, right? I'm sucking it in so you look thin, right? Everything, right?
Father's like,
exactly. You know, a couple. Right? If you saw that, but it's the same sort of stuff. Like, it's like, oh, they're a beautiful family. Everything must be great with them. And it's the same thing in all of these things, right? It's, oh, why can't we be more like them? Why can't we travel like them? Problems that I have, I don't necessarily think that other people have. And the only way the only way to know that they do, the only way to have that sort of therapy to talk with someone else is to literally talk and meet with them, which has become a dying thing of people
anymore.
Going out.
That's right. Exactly. We don't get together over coffee cake, right?
Exactly. We don't come over for coffee
and talk about how bad your kids are, right? Like
that's right.
It's really true though, because you know, like I meant to bring this up a while ago. Father's Day has passed, you know, come and gone probably by a month by now, but I was really happy on Father's Day because my kids decided to do stuff for me, right? Which is very odd, right? This just doesn't happen. And I'm always saying, I'm always saying it's like, you know, they just don't do things like, you know, they don't think about the parents. It's like everything is owed to them. Everything's entitled. And I think the reason that they feel that way by and large is exactly what we're talking about. Like that's what they see on social media is that all their friends are getting stuff and everybody's getting. So they're only seeing the good things. So they expect only the good things. So they don't appreciate the fact that this stuff doesn't just appear, right?
Right. That's just life, right?
And so
that's
it's a
just
constant complaint that I have is like the kids are never appreciating us. They're never pitching in. They're never this and never that. But then, you know, you go out on social media and to look at other families, you're like, my God, I'm the only one with this problem. Like these kids are broken, right? Because everybody else's kids are perfect. Apparently, that's what it looks like.
They're perfect.
But
they help with yard work. They do everything.
They're doing everything. They're doing their chores. They're doing this and this. But I think you're right. It's because like we don't talk to each other about stuff like that. All we do is look at people's Facebook posts and think that's their life. But it's not their life, is it?
No,
it's not their life. Because I got to thinking, if I posted on Father's Day what the kids did for me, which was terrific, right? Everyone around me would think that I have the most perfect family and the most perfect children. Oh my God, I'm so lucky and everything else. And meanwhile, it was literally 2 hours. And after that, that was the end of it.
Which, you know, is 2 hours more than previous Father's Days, apparently. So at least it's beautiful. But that's exactly right. It's almost like, now my brain's weird, I know, but I watch movies sometimes. Yeah. And you realize, or even some of these reality shows, you're watching like 20 minutes in the entire day. What happened with the other, 23 hours and 40 minutes that happened in that day in that place?
Something's going
reality
on,
show. Right. Something's going on, right?
And probably not the good stuff. So
probably not. Yeah, probably not.
I really feel like there's like not good things attached with all this, right? And so I don't know. That was one of my things. But
so let's ask let's ask this question. What happens if we start just posting negative stuff? Like,
that would be awesome.
Hey, here's what happened today in my day. Here's what happened. Yeah. I just want to let everybody know I had a quick fight with my wife because she didn't, put the cap back on the
She's
toothpaste.
An ass.
So it was all slimy. So,
thanks. What if we did that?
Have a good day.
Like reverse Facebook or negative. What do they call that when you're in like a negative world or the upside down Facebook world or whatever?
Yeah. That
would be very cool, right?
That would be.
Like just take your life and instead of the highlights, if you like, take the lowlights.
Take the lowlights.
Paste all of that stuff.
So talk about making people feel better.
Yeah.
Right?
I just want to let you know that today I fought for 7 hours with
exactly.
And it was
my kids
awful.
did nothing for me today. It was Father's Day. Right. I woke up. I got nothing.
Right. I got no card. I got no this. I got no that. Man, you know what?
See?
Yeah. They kind of suck.
Anybody else have this problem? Come and join me,
Instead of posting the good pictures, you post like the pictures with your gut hanging out.
The bad ones. Look what I found on the beach.
Right. Post the real beach pictures, which is you like bending down to get a shell and everything is hanging down. Like,
why would you take that? Right. The ones you would delete. Yeah.
Bathing suit half down. Picking sand out of places.
Picking sand.
Yeah. That's what I want to see because that's what real life is, right? That's what
let's
life
make
is.
each other. Let's lift each other up a little bit with Be Real.
But wouldn't that do it, right? Wouldn't that do it?
It would help.
Instead of making everything so rosy, because that's really what it is. I mean, you take these two things, you put them together. Facebook and all the social media, is really like showing everybody how great you are and then telling everybody else how stupid they are because they don't believe the same things you believe. It's the most damaging thing to an ego. I think it's a horrible thing. It really is. It's nothing good about it.
The second part is real damaging. And they both are, and they're different levels, right?
Yeah. But it's the same people doing both, in fact. Right?
Usually it is. Usually it is.
It's a terrible
And I think
thing.
one's gotten much worse over the last few years. But yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible because it doesn't lead to people feeling, first of all, seeing reality or feeling good about themselves.
And the problem is if it's on these things, we somehow, I don't know why humans are like this, but we believe whatever we see.
Yeah, there's some
whatever's
mind
told
thing
to us, I guess, is
subconscious.
Like I was thinking this, since we've gotten we didn't really gotten political, but this isn't going to be political either. But I know that you'll appreciate this because it doesn't matter what side of the fence you are on politically. I don't even know that we're on the same side politically. I don't even know that I have a side. I think all politics suck, right?
I'm just going to let you go on that one. Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
think you're right. I think you're right.
I can't stand it. But I can't stand it more because we're manipulated by the media and interests.
Totally.
And things like that, right? So what really made me laugh, these debates just happened with Trump. But did you watch it, by the way? Did you watch any of it?
Yeah.
All right. I'm not going to get into any of that. I don't really care much for either of them, to be honest. But what I really found interesting was that, so Biden was Biden. He was doing his thing, right?
Yep.
I don't think he knew what his thing was, but he was.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but he's got a new thing going on.
Okay. but what really cracked me up was that for whatever reason, after that debate, all of the media outlets that normally would support him kind of said, whoa, something's wrong, now he's not fit. And now this is the new thing, right? And I'm thinking to myself, boy, we are stupid, aren't we? Because do we really think that those people didn't see this before? This isn't he's been the same way for 3 years, right? This is it wasn't like this was a new Joe Biden that was on the stage. This was literally somebody decided that the new plant in the media is going to be, he's no good. I don't know why. I don't know what they have. There's some strategy to it, I'm sure. But, all of a sudden now, these same people that have been watching this man do the same things for 3 years, now all of a sudden they're like, wow, yeah, there's a problem. I'm like, why?
Have you not been talking to him? You've seen this.
Yeah, because MSNBC and CNN, whoever else wasn't saying that before, now they're saying it, so now it's true.
Because more viewers watch this.
It doesn't make any sense. But I'm talking about people like you and me, and I'll talk to somebody who's clearly a Biden fan. I'll talk to them 2 months ago and say, yeah, he's fine. Oh no, he's doing great. And then after the debate, they're told now that he didn't do great, and they're like, oh yeah, he's a problem. I'm like, it was the same person. It's no different.
Exactly.
But all of a sudden, because you saw it on television and someone told you this is the way you should think, now that's the way you're thinking. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's weird.
It doesn't make sense to me either. It feels like there's two sides of it, right? We're letting ourselves, there's a part of you that has to question things, right?
Yeah.
And when you're easily sort of manipulated by anything that comes on, again, we're using this scenario to be an example, but when you're that easily manipulated, then people can make you do anything. Right?
That's the problem. It's the manipulation.
But some of it, but we were being manipulated
Absolutely.
with what we just talked about a little while ago,
Absolutely.
right? We're being manipulated by our peers and the people that are Facebook quote unquote friends by this is what's going on. This is my life. I have no problem. We're watching it and our brain says, believe it.
Yeah.
Right. Our brain says, believe it. That's the case. When in reality, that's not the case. They got problems. They got issues. And the same thing goes here. Where our brain is believing it when we need to step back and go, whoa, let's pump the brakes a little bit here.
Something doesn't
just
seem
because
right.
The entire world saw what we knew already and it was just more obvious and on video.
Yeah.
Now somebody else says, change your mind. You're going to change your mind.
It's just weird. It is this kind of groupthink mentality, right?
Yeah,
it's all of a sudden, this becomes trending. And again, I'm not sitting here saying he should be president. He should be. It's like, I don't care. I don't think any of them should. I think there's,
that's
they're
again,
terrible, right? I can't believe out of all the people in this country that
this is what we got. This is what we got.
I don't
in the
understand
US.
it. It's whatever. Yeah. But okay, fine. Like I could even say if you see the man is not capable of doing certain things, but okay, he could be president because there are other people running the country. Like there's a million things that you could do. But to say that, he was fine before, but now after the debates, he's not. Because
I don't know. Did he?
What happened?
Did he fall on the way to the podium? I don't.
No different behavior before or after, other than now all of a sudden people are saying something different.
All I can say is maybe people really weren't aware. I mean, it was.
I can't imagine that.
I mean, it was pretty. It was.
I can't
it was pretty
imagine.
Bad.
I mean, it doesn't.
It was mentally,
I don't know. It's just so.
But there's
weird.
been things out there forever. So if you've been involved in any way, shape, or form, you've seen things.
Yeah.
You understand where things were at before it happened, but maybe you didn't. I don't know.
But I mean, it is kind of one and the same thing, right? Like if it gets put out in media, whether it's social media, traditional media, whatever else, I think as humans we we're wired to say, well, that must be right or true, right? And even if it goes against what we know in our hearts may not be true, it's like, well, everybody seems to think that's true, so I guess it's true. And so maybe like the before, if everybody was saying, no, he's fine, okay, I guess that's fine, right? And then after, everybody's saying, he's not fine, I guess he's not fine. It's like, it's this kind of a weird dynamic, right? Is that we believe what we see, and now we've put that power in everybody's hands.
Well, that's the scariest part, right? I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, I mean, you think about what it does to you and me, right?
Yeah.
God, what's happening to our kids? Right. And here we are with this stuff that is being told to them that is blatantly, I mean, I've corrected my kids, any one of them, on blatant, just untrue statements that have been made on maybe an Instagram or one of the social medias, right? That I've literally had arguments with them. Like, literally, that is not true. No, but I saw it. I'm like, doesn't mean it's true. Like, it's something we've got to teach our children more so now probably than ever before, is to not just truly believe what you see on these social devices, whether it's family stuff, whether it's other kids, whether it's this, whether it's that, whether it's opinions, political view, whatever it is. Right. Question everything, because
that's right.
The manipulation that can take place with the amount of things they use and see and different things like that is crazy.
It's crazy. You can get people to believe anything by putting it out there and having enough people agree with it, right? And then all of a sudden you start questioning your own values and your own what you think is right. It's a weird dynamic. It really is. I don't know that this is helpful or useful, but it helps me because I really see a lot of danger. And I suppose this has always existed, but now it's so prevalent and so many people have these tools in their hands that it's really, really easy to get people to see things that really aren't true, right?
Well, we know this has always existed because, 100 years ago, this was going on to create some real tragedies in the world.
Right, yeah.
So,
right,
in a different fashion, of course, but it was propaganda.
Yeah,
and
propaganda has always been a thing.
Yeah, it was brainwashing of sorts. To put different thoughts in people's mind that make them do horrible things, right?
Yeah.
So,
there's no doubt. But now it's just become so much more accessible, right?
So much more accessible.
Everybody's hand. Well, maybe that doesn't matter because in anybody's hands it could be very dangerous. But
the young, everyone,
right?
All of this sort of stuff, and it's gotten to that point where, and it does matter because when you say everybody can. So it's like, we lived in a world where we had our house and our town, and we knew a lot of people in the high school. We'd go to high school and we'd leave and we'd go home at a young age, right? Yeah. Now that's just not the case. You can communicate with dingbats that are all over the world, you know, and they could be saying the most ridiculous things, and you're going to believe, right?
In the neighborhood, you knew who the idiots were.
You knew who the idiots were. And you just kept your distance,
like, all right? Whatever,
And if you talk to them face to face,
Crazy Joe.
Yeah, exactly. And you would just avoid them. Now you can't avoid them because they're just popping things on your feed.
Now Crazy Joe is out like, there. He's like
Crazy Joe's everywhere.
Not that Joe, but you know, like, well, maybe. I mean, they're everywhere. Like, and you don't know who's the nutty ones and who's not the nutty ones. It's
exactly.
It's just crazy. It is.
Yep.
It's a nutty thing.
Having this view into society and everybody, right? Because for us, it was really the second half of our lives, really, that it's been possible to do it so easily. But having this view into society and everybody speaking, and it's scary.
Everyone's got a voice, right? I don't think everyone was supposed to.
It was scary. I mean, some people we don't need to give a voice to.
Some people are not supposed to have a voice that loud, at least. I don't know, right? But,
exactly.
But whatever, right? Well, this is deep, but I think interesting. And maybe worth looking at, and maybe there is, again, we like the solutions, right? But the solution is, I think, of course, you know, number one, don't believe everything that you see, right? I mean, don't believe everything you hear. A lot of it is propaganda. A lot of it is planted, whether it's by the person who wants you to think their family's perfect, whether it's by some political party who wants you to believe one thing or another, whether it's by the medical industry, the pharmaceutical industry, whatever else. Like, they're trying to get you to believe something, right? And some of it may be helpful, some of it may not, but you know, dig deeper, right? Like, dig deeper and
think for yourself.
And don't feel crappy about yourself if you don't buy into every single thing that people tell you. It's like, I don't know. So that's kind of one. And then the other thing is, if you're just one of these people that are angry at everything, shut up. You know, just shut up. I mean, you know, if you don't like horse racing, don't go to horse racing. Like,
eat a gummy and go to a Dave Matthews concert and have a good time.
I don't know. Like, just cut it out. I'm just so tired of everybody preaching at everybody for everything all the time. And I say that I'm preaching at people right now, I guess. But, you know, so there you go.
But, you know, I agreed, and I'll add a couple things to that as well, right? Talk to people, communicate, get out if you can, because get back into reality.
Yeah.
You know, when you're isolated, if you're just sitting at home and you're just living through a Facebook or a text chat or you know, any of the social media stuff that you're seeing, even just TV and reality shows, they're not real. Get to reality.
Go talk to people.
Get out there, talk to people, communicate, because people are in your shoes, right? There's people that are struggling with things that you would have no idea they're struggling with, and to communicate with and be on that same page. So
look at the difference.
Think about doing that.
Look at the difference. What you said was really so important about, you were at the concert, you're having a great time, you're feeling good about humanity, right? Because you're with people, you're seeing them, you're seeing what they're about. The minute you went home, went into your room, went on that social media again, what happens? Bing. Yeah. So I think that's it right there, right? Like, get out and talk to people. Like, this is just getting crazy. It really is getting crazy.
It is. It is. And the last thing I will say on this that I think would be helpful is if more people went on socials and posted real life. Tell me what you're struggling with. Tell me what your problems are. Tell me you have a bad day. You know, I think I'm going to start doing this. People are going to be like,
stop making it like you're perfect.
James's feed is really depressing.
You're not perfect.
I'm not going to post for every good thing I post. I'm going to talk about a struggle during the day.
I would love for you to do that, because I don't post at all because of this, but you should.
I really don't post. I really don't post much either. My wife doesn't tag me.
You know,
I'm going to. I think for every positive, I'm like, you know, I had a good day here. This was great. I did have this argument. This happened, but you know,
and today life sucked, right?
We got through it. We got through it, right? Today life sucks, you know?
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, this was heavy, man, but I feel like we should end with a light note. I owe you the story of the football, don't I?
Oh, let's do it.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
And this is a good way to end it, because, you know, it's a real thing. This is real. I'm going to be real. I'm going to be totally real. Okay. So what is the story of that football? That football is there, not because I play football, because I enjoy football, but because
whoever touched a football for that.
Well, you'll see this one. This is a toy football. When I was very young, I think maybe less than a year old or whatever, right? My mom would take us shopping. We lived in the Bronx at that time, I think, that this happened. And so I guess I kind of got hooked on this football and I took it. And you know, back in that day, I think, especially my parents, I'm sure yours were the same. It's like today, I think if my kid took something, I would like go back into the store. Say, oh, I'm sorry, we took it. Back then, it was like, hey, we got away with one, right? So I'm sure either she saw it or not, but you know, right. Okay, you know, I didn't do it. The baby did it, right? So, so anyway, I took this football, and I would not part with it. Okay. I slept with that football every day.
Oh, no kidding.
Until what age? What age do you think?
Oh, gosh. I couldn't even begin. 4, 3?
18.
Oh, no. Are you joking?
I'm not joking.
Are you serious? You were 18 years old?
I had to part with it when I went to college. I was going to take it with me. Goodness. And my mom's like, you know, the roommate might think a little bit. Now, there's a reason. Okay. I'm telling you, this is my binky. But there, I'm going to give you the scientific reason for it is that the thing, which is kind of funny too. So the thing is, now it was a rubber football. It started out that way. Now it's as hard as a rock, right? Because all the plasticizers have leached out. Well, where do you think they leached out? Onto me, I'm sure, right?
Onto you, which explains
everything, right? Yeah. But the thing was very comforting because, you know, you leave it out during the day and it gets super cold. I don't know why. Okay. So when I go to sleep, I have this cold thing on my, it's like not,
which is nice. It's like the other side of the pillow,
nice. Right? Especially we didn't have air conditioning growing up. Whatever. I won't make excuses. Just like really, but I think that cold was comforting to me more than the football, right? Yeah. And so I literally slept that thing. So then I went to college, and you know, it's named Footsie, by the way, just in case you're in. I'm being real, right?
Footsie, Footsie the football.
Of course, well, come on. I mean, I think
that makes sense. Name. And of course, you haven't lost it because it's you.
No,
so it's like most people would have lost this thing in 18
probably,
years. Probably,
right? You know. So I went to college, and then I was like, and then got married, and you know, it always had a place on the.
It had it. If you weren't going to sleep with it, it was going to be.
But
close by.
No, I would have, you know, but then I had my wife. So, you know, I used to like, you know, wash her down in ice and then that was she.
The football.
No, my wife, so that she's cold.
Oh, you
go stand under the air conditioning for 20 minutes before bed. So that I can't go to sleep without something cold on my cheek.
Oh my God.
So anyway, so then I was like, well, starting to get worried about it because it's fragile at some point, right? So I'm like, you know, I'm going to get a case for it. And there it is. So now it watches over me. And yeah. Now I don't think it's alive, by the way, but this is the truth. That's the true story of Footsie.
I think that is so amazing. I think it's more amazing probably than anybody else that could be listening to this because it's you, right? And a football and you they don't go. They just don't go together.
That one.
You know what I mean?
That one.
Yeah. But that one does.
Oh, that one.
It didn't lead you to play football or watching football. Nothing.
And it's a small thing. I mean, it looks bigger than
it's a mini guy, right?
Small little toy football.
A mini guy.
It's a toy football. It's great. And I've looked for because it's got like faded brand naming on it or whatever else. And I've looked for that brand. It must have been some off thing. I can't find any information on the manufacturer, anything. I think it was, you know, put down from the heavens.
Nothing from Footsie. It was placed down for Footsie. You, which is why there was, you know, something told you to grab it.
And and so God knows what's leached into my skin over the years, but yeah, that is
Footsie the stolen football. It's amazing.
The stolen football. My mom, who loves this show,
like
by the way, I will tell you, she's going to be so happy because she loves things like that, and she's gonna be like,
of course, all moms do.
All moms like that, but she really likes the fact that she didn't pay for it. So
that's like, she really liked that it was stolen.
Right. That made it fun. You sleep with it as long as you want. We didn't pay for it
for 18 years. Talk about getting use out of it too, right? Yeah. You've never thrown it, but you've certainly snuggled it.
Didn't cost me anything. I don't care what you do. So anyway, there you have it.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So. Anyway,
that's amazing.
I wanted to talk because if I let that
I could never have made
cliff hang for too much longer, it would be a letdown.
I could never have made up. I could never have.
I never told you that. I guess. Yeah. Why? No. I don't go walking around. See, this is a good example, though.
Well, I've been in your house.
Yeah, you've seen it. But if you this kind of goes along. If we want to bring this full circle, is like that's not something I would post But here, I'm telling everybody the story. So there you go.
You're telling everybody. I have a feeling if you did post it, it may get to more people so far than people that have watched it. So I think you could take comfort in the fact that your footsie story is safe for a bit.
this would be something. But anyway, there you go. So I like ending on a good note.
Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate it.
We were a little bit angry, but I like this is a good note. See, footsie makes me feel good.
You sharing
it's a feel good. It's a feel good item.
I have a whole different view now when I look behind you.
And so will everybody. They'll see footsie. They'll he's watching over.
Amazing.
It's great.
I'm glad footsie's there with us.
Anyway, good. All right. Well, I think that's a good way to end. James, always a pleasure.
Rock and roll.
And I think we covered some good things today. Maybe a little deeper than we normally do.
But it was good to talk about. They're on our minds.
Got to do some
probably on others.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Yeah. Well, for everybody out there, hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you enjoy all of our episodes. Go back, take a look at the ones that you missed. If you're new to the show, subscribe and reach out and let us know what you think and comment and give us a beef if you want us to talk about something. We'd be happy to feature it here on the show. And while you're mulling all that over, we will see you back here on another episode of
Beyond the Beef.
Thanks for joining, everybody.
Thanks, guys.